Hey out there, it's Dustin with the Davidson Group at ReeceNichols. Got another market update coming at you. We're going to be covering the last 15 years. That's right, the last 15 years of our market and what it's done. We've got some good information. We've got stability. We've got some growth. But really, I just want to show you the slides. I want you to take it in and really just focus on where we're at currently and what that's going to look like launching us into the next year or two. So jumping in, we are looking at sold versus for sale data. So the graph you can see here, the dates, just for frame of reference. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. Okay. As you can see on this graph, we're looking at for sale versus sold data. And just so you know on the dates, we're going back to 2005. The increments on these dates are 3-month increments, so they're not monthly, they're not yearly, but in every 3-month section there, so you can kind of get a framework of what we're looking at. That will stay consistent across these 5 slides. But as we look at this information here, we know that in 2007, 2008, we had a market crash and a bubble burst in the housing market. But where we're located centrally in the United States, things hit us differently. They hit us in a different time, they hit us in a different manner. And so you really see that fluctuation here hit in that 2012, 2013 range, where we have tons of for sale homes on the market. But as you look at the bottom, that green, that dark green are the sold, that actually stays pretty consistent all the way through. Between 200 and 300 homes every 3 months are sold consistently from 2005 through 2020. So we've got a lot of consistency there, even through those years of inconsistency with the market, tons of inventory, and now what we're seeing is the lack thereof. We've got sold homes every single year, every single quarter. We've just got that continuing on. So just something for frame of reference compared to last year. So we're talking end of the quarter of 2020. So just, a month and a half ago, we're looking at a 25% increase of homes closed. So we've had tons of growth from 2019 to 2020, but as you can see, we've really stayed pretty consistent over those past 5 years. We've also placed 30% more under contract. So we've got more rolling, we've got more being sold, and we've got more activity than we had from the year previous. The next slide here, we're looking at average price per square foot. A lot of people really look at this as an indicator of what your home is generating in equity. And so as we see, again, we're consistent in that we don't have huge drops and huge increases, but we are gradually increasing, and now we're starting to see more rapid increases over those 3-month intervals because our inventory shortages are dropping so drastically, and we just don't have the homes on the market that then drive it into a full-scale 100, 1,000% seller's market. Interesting statistic here is that the average sold price, again, end of December in 2020 to end of December in 2019. So looking at that 3-month, that 1 quarter period, 14.5, almost 15% increase. That's huge. Double-digit growth is phenomenal. But really what that says is that if you've purchased a home in the past 12 to 24 months, you have some serious equity. And we don't typically see that in our marketplace year over year as you look at the consistency over those 15-year periods. The next graph we've got is our average days on market. And again, with our market, we've got a lot of consistency. And so there's good and bad in that, but really whenever you enter in uncertainty or you enter in what we would call an unstable market, to have a historical period of consistency means that we're going to be okay moving forward, no matter what that looks like for us. But our average days on market, you can see some ups and downs, but really over the past few years, we've really started to see that deteriorate. Now you can see some pops, like if we look here, whenever the pandemic hit, whenever COVID was strong, we had a lot of people staying at home, really not a lot of action going. You can see that days of market literally on here spike up. But then as soon as we don't, it drops and then drops again significantly and then started to try and balance back out. We'll revisit some of this stuff just to see how we compare and add that in. But really, I think we can see here that those days on market are dropping, but it's not as crazy as what we're seeing in some of those situations or what we talk about, home selling in 24 or 72 hours and just tons of offers and a lot of action. That does happen, but by and large in scale for the marketplace, we're pretty consistent. And our drops, though they're drastic drops from what we're used to 2 and 3, 3 and 4 years ago, we're not in such a place where we've got 20, 30 days on market. You know, we're still 50 to 60 days on average. So the next piece, this graph, we have probably the most exponential growth of what it looks like, or what we can tell as far as growth heading up. But this is the for sale and for solds. And so you can see, again, we've had some dips, you know, again, that 2012, 2013 range. We have some up, we have some down. Even though there's this back and forth, that price point has really remained pretty consistent. And it's just been over the past year, maybe year and a half, that we've had that exponential or upward growth. Again, just pointing back to the fact that if you've transacted in that time frame, you've definitely got some equity. A statistic here that I think is worth making note of is for an average sold price, end of year 2020 for that quarter, so December 2020 to December, compared to December of 2019, we've had a 23.4, almost 24% growth. So again, good solid growth there. We're seeing those things in droves. The last slide I want to show you all is our average or our monthly inventory based off of our closed sales. So it's almost the exact picture of our first graph. So if you go back and look, yellow versus green as far as the colors that are on here, but we can see that we have tons of inventory whenever we hit those years of buyer's market. We're filling the 2012, 2013 timeframes of what would have happened from the market burst and finally hitting our area, and then falling down into a couple of months, you know, definitely less than 6, but a couple of months worth of inventory as we're looking in the end of 2020 and going into 2021. So when we're looking at months of inventory based off of closed sales in December 2020 versus December of 2019, we were down 56%. So it is a crazy number to think about how much inventory we've lost year over year. You know, December, I've heard it said in my few years in the business that December can be one of the craziest months or one of the slowest months. Obviously, December of 2020 was one of those crazy months. Anyway, all 15 years worth of data. There's a lot of information. Pause it, go back, look at the slides. If you have questions, reach out. We can talk in more depth. We can talk in more detail. Really, I just want to be your resource. I want to provide the information to you and allow you to make the decisions that you need to, whether you're looking to purchase or you're looking to sell or both. Anyway, that's all I've got to cover for today. I just wanted to provide you this information and give you a snapshot of what the past 15 years look like. If you have any interest in discussing purchasing or selling your home, feel free to reach out. Thank you so much for taking the time to view the video, and I'm here for you when you need me. Dustin signing off.